Hello, Tom here. Today we're going to be looking at this, which was very kindly sent to me from the guys at Monster Makers. This is their new product, Cosclay, the fantastic flexible plastic. And from what I can tell, it's basically a polymer clay that you can bake the same as any other polymer clay, but it doesn't go completely solid like Super Sculpey or Bees Putty or Fimo or any of the other brands. It stays flexible. Now, I normally work in oil-based clays, but there's definitely some use for this in the work that I do. I've baked up a few little pieces just to give it a test. I did this little head here, just a very quick kind of alien-y type head. And when you bake a solid piece like this, it seems to feel more or less like Super Sculpey or any other polymer clay. It's got very good detail retention, and it feels good. It's solid. It's hard. Let's have a look at some of the other bits I did. Now this one I put a wire through, so in theory you would be able to bend it and it would keep its shape. This might be good for things like tentacles. It's snapped a little bit on the bend there, but it's probably because I put it together in a bit of a rush, and I didn't really seal the joins there properly. So that's my fault. It's not the clay that's doing that. The actual bits that are baked properly and stuck properly, you can see I can bend the wire and it retains its shape. It's going to be very useful for, basically I think what I'm going to use this clay for is making accessories for the figures that I make. I normally make 6 scale figures, and they have a lot of accessories like clothing, weapons, things like that. So I think more than anything, that's what I'm going to be using Cosclay for. I am struggling with my camera a little bit. I've literally got my phone taped to the arm of my tripod here because I don't have anything proper to put my phone on right now. I'm going to work on that hopefully very soon and get a better tripod, but I hope you can kind of see what I'm doing. So yeah, I've baked up a few little pieces here just to see what happened with it. You can see this piece here, you can straighten it out completely and it will retain the shape that you bake it in. It's going to be very nice for tails, maybe a character that has a long thin tail, possibly sculpting the hands of a figure if you want the fingers to be able to bend so you could put weapons into the hands, like maybe Action Man or Hot Toys weapons. That might be quite useful. I made like a flat piece here, like a piece of leather or a belt maybe. And the good thing I noticed about this is that even if your original shape isn't completely straight or symmetrical, the clay carves quite well when it's cured. So you can always go in with your knife, straighten the edges of things out, carve it down a bit. I haven't tried sanding, but from what I can tell from using the edge of my knife here, I think it would be okay for sanding too. And that will completely bend around. You could always stick that with glue and it would hold its shape. It's going to be very useful, I think, for me. And then this final piece here, I just made like a piece of rope, just a twisted piece of material or string or rope or whatever you want to call it. I think that would be very useful for me. I can hang this off the side of a belt. I could even wrap a head around it and tie it onto his belt buckle as a trophy or something like that. Endless possibilities. I think it's going to be a game changer in the industry, purely because of that reason. I don't think it's going to be just good for sculpting. I think it's going to be good for accessories. I think it's going to be good for larger scale work like cosplay, making costumes, things like that. As it says on the packet here, stop motion characters, I think it's going to be really useful for. If people can work out a way of using a more stable armature inside and baking around that, I'm not sure over time how much movement the clay can take. I haven't stress tested it too much, But I mean this, I've been bending it around for ages and it's not changing. It's not going to get any weaker at the points, as far as I can tell anyway. Seems to be very, very, what's the word? Durable. Now, the grade that I got, I'm not entirely sure what it is. Obviously it's a product test, so I got a mixed bag, 2 different colours, darker skin tones that I got. And the stuff I got was very wet. So, not wet, sorry, but soft. And I'm used to working with Cosclay Firm and Sculpey Firm and Chavant Hard. So, for me, it was a little bit soft, this grade. This was one of the earlier batches they produced. I know they've produced a firm version now, which I can't wait to get my hands on. But all I did was I rolled this out flat and I sandwiched it between 2 pieces of paper towel, left it for a few days with a weight on top, and that seemed to draw out a lot of the oil and the liquid inside it, and it made it a lot more easy for me to work with, a lot more close to what I'm used to. So yeah, that's about it really for now. I'm going to do some more tests, I'm going to do some more videos about it, but I think it's going to be extremely useful for many different things. Maybe, for example, this guy that I was working on here, this cloth piece here, the tentacles coming out of the tumours and the growths. I've half made a belt here that was going to go around his waist. Things like that I would now start to make in Cosclay and add them at the end, just before I'm about to paint them figure. So yeah, I think lots of different applications can be found for it. I think it's going to be extremely useful. And for now, that's all I've got to say about it. I will be doing some more videos. So I hope this was informative. Thanks very much to the guys at Monster Makers for sending me the free samples. I'm going to do some more tests. I'm going to do some serious stress testing with armatures and things like that. And I'll get that up on YouTube as soon as possible. Thanks very much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.